As you know, ladies and gentlemen, we done in the morning session our chapter 9, which is talking about uh, junctional rhythm. And we mentioned that the key word for us to understand this chapter is the word retrograde. And retrograde means what? Means negative. Why it is negative? Because the electricity is leaving the positive electrodes away, so we will get the P wave all the time negative. And we have three possibilities of P waves. As I told you, P wave can be negative before QRS if it comes from the upper third. It will be hidden or absent if it comes from the middle third of the AV node, and it will be negative and following the QRS in case of lower third of the bundle of S or AV node. Today we have, or this lecture, we are going to talk about ventricular rhythm. And as I mentioned to you before, you have to link between what you're understanding and what you are reading and what you should interpret in your memory. We mentioned that so far we are going to talk about ventricular. So I think El Hadja can answer this question. If I am going to talk about ventricular issue, so what will be my target to look at it? Which part?
QRS.
QRS. Perfect. This is very good. So far, we are like talking about certain issues. So our word for today is what is the criteria of the QRS? We know that the criteria is it should be less than 0.12 seconds, and we will find something which is today something new. And we had yesterday chance to find someone with this abnormality of the QRS. And again, as I told you, so far we started to reach below the SA node, and we will get the problem. So we have to make patient assessment. So remember, this is like kind of questions in the exam. And as you see, Emily, we are going with items by items, that what is the starting SA node and what is the internodal pathway, and so till we get the firing rate for each one. And I need you to focus today that we have the ventricular rhythm, so it will be like from 20 to 40 beats per minute. And this is very important. You have to save it, and easy question to be answered in the exam. So what we need to understand for this one is the QRS character. What is the QRS character? Let us see. We know that the normal QRS should be less than 0.12. If it is equal or greater than 0.12, so this means a warning sign that there is something wrong with the ventricle. And the absence of P waves, because they are hidden or blurred with the QRS, this can be happen because we will find that the QRS getting wide, and this wide is also accompanied by the word bizarre. You see this word? Bizarre. So please remember, when we are talking with any issue, Aaron, about the ventricle, if it is true ventricular problem, we have to change the description from narrow QRS to be wide and bizarre. Are you following, Zahra? Wide and bizarre. Okay. Let us see what should we know about this issue. If we have like this ectopic means it is coming out from abnormal sites. Like I told you, some of instructor will be like teaching you something which is substitute to your original instructor like me. So it will be like we call ectopic. And this ectopic is out of place, as you know. And it has a character, and it will be like we mentioned before, premature ventricular contraction. So this is the third time we have this subject. I remind you, we have premature atrial, we have premature junctional, we have premature ventricular, which is our target for today. Let us see what should happen after the premature ventricular contraction happen. It should followed by compensatory pause. What do you mean by compensatory pause? There is no contraction will be following this ectopic one because the ectopic one is already arrived. So this means like it looks like the second contraction comes in absolute refractory period. If you remember, we mentioned if we have any stimulants coming in the absolute refractory period, it will never produce any contraction. Let us see here. I need one of you, please, open your mic if you don't have noise background, and let us go together. Who will challenge with me?
I can try this.
Who is talking?
Diana.
I can't hear.
Diana.
Diana. Okay, Diana. Goes. Okay. So I will guide you. Of course, let us count how many. What is the first item? The heart rate. Okay. So what is the first heart? What is the heart rate here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got it? You agree? Okay. What next, Diana?
We would do the heart rhythm.
Very good.
And it's not the same. It
So
has
if it is correct, it is not the same, so it is irregular. Correct. Keep going.
and then it's the P wave, right? They're abnormal.
You see the P wave is abnormal?
It looks like there's two of them.
Two of them? No?
Yeah.
You see this one?
That one has one.
And this one?
That one has one. And then this one.
Let us go step by step. So all of these are coming from the SA node. It is normal. All of these red arrows point to normal P wave. And again, how I'm saying that it is normal, it is upright and it is smooth, and each P wave followed by QRS. So no way, it is normal. But what we notice here, and from there we can go by the PR interval. Of course, you are very good to count. But what we have here regarding the QRS, can you share with me? Do you notice something with QRS?
Two of them wide. Second and the fifth.
Very good. So this one?
4, 5, yeah, and the fifth one.
Right. Very good. So Diana noticed that there are two QRS. They are wide. And what the other word I learned you today? Wide and bizarre. What we mean by the word bizarre, as you see, guys, if I make it in another, you see, this is what I mean by bizarre. It is notched, you see? You see this notch? So wide and bizarre, it is wide. So the tip is not sharp like this one. You compare? Can you compare, Lewis? This one, tip here is not like this one. So this is the description we use for the ventricular. And this is very important and very easy for us to understand this slides. Very good. Any question before we leave this slides? Okay. Sometimes the PVC fall between two sinus beats without interfering with the rhythm, referred to as to interpolated beats. But if it comes like more, let us look for morphology. It means what is the shape, what is the outline feature of the PVC based on the site of origin. So if we have both of these are similarity, so we mentioned this before for regarding the PVC, guys. If we have one normal and one abnormal, we call bigemine. If we have two normal and the third one is abnormal, we call trigemini. And the quadrigemini, we will get three normal and the fourth is abnormal. So this is regarding the PVC character, which is bigemini, trigemini, and quadrigemini. Let us go with the summary, and this summary will tell us all the information which we mentioned. Let us apply for this trip. El-Hajja, can you go by this trip?
Okay.
You can or you can't?
The heart rate is 80.
Let us
80.
count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. 80.
Yeah. The two P wave is present,
Before
but
we,
yeah,
what is the second step to be answered?
the rhythm. Yeah, the rhythm is
So what do you
it's
think?
irregular.
Irregular.
Yeah,
Very good.
and P wave is present. QRS is the third and the last one.
Perfect.
It's wide, bizarre.
Very good. So far, it is wide bizarre. You are going to mention it is ventricular. So you put this one. One more issue. It is mature or premature? It is premature. Why? If we compare this distance, it is equal, but this one is less. So this one is premature. And this one also is premature. So we put the word premature. Last issue is, do they have the same shape? If you compare this shape with this shape, they are similar or not similar?
Similar.
Similar. So far, they are similar. So we call them unifocal. They coming from the same person or the same side. Okay, Diana? So far, the premature are identical in shape. We call they are unifocal. If they are not identical in shape, we will call them multifocal. Like what? Look, guys, if I highlight these arrows, so what do you think? This one, look to this one.
Different.
And what about this one?
Multifocal.
And this one? This is not the same, right? So this means this, not like this, not like this. So it is multi.
Focal.
You got it? Any questions so far? All right. So we have the premature ventricular complex can be multifocal and can be unifocal. Another one which we need to talk about it is if I have the premature coming in succession. You see, these two, sorry, these two premature guys, if you look here, these two are similar and coming one after another. You see? So it is not applied for bigemini. It is not applied for trigemini. It is not applied for quadrigemini, but it comes as two together. So we call them couplet. Couplet, it is French word. Couplet, French word. We make it like in English we call couple. Okay, so in English we call couple. Two means two, and here it is a French name. Couplet, it is also couple coming together. So this couplet PVC is very common to show up in certification exam of electrocardiography. Take care of what I am saying, please. But we need to look for this one. The PVCs indicate myocardial irritability. We have ectopic. Multifocal are more serious than unifocal. Why? Because multifocal comes from more than one side, but unifocal is only coming from one side. So if I have a problem coming from one issue, better than if it is coming from multiple issues. And what is the salvos? This is another question in the exam. Salvos. What is the salvos? Mute yourself, Al-Hajj, please. So, salvos means happen in ventricular tachycardia. And when we get like more than premature complexes, we call this is like salvos. It is more than one normal. Let us look here. We talked about this before. So this is a couplet and at the same time bigemini. Why bigemini? I need one to tell me why this one. Of course, we learned together that this is couplet. But why they said it is bigemini? I need one to share with me, please.
Because every other beat is a PVC.
100% correct. So thank you, Luz. Let us go back here. I need to highlight it, the items with you to give chance for people keep quiet, not participating. So you say that every other beats. Very good. So which one is normal? This one or this one?
The second one,
The second one is normal or abnormal?
normal.
No, this one is the abnormal. Like this one is abnormal. You see, it is wide QRS. Here, the QRS is very small. You see? So this one, which I am doing circle now, is normal. This one is normal. Sorry, it is not like go. This one is like normal. So this normal, this normal, this normal, this normal. But this one, which I'm going to make arrow, This is the abnormal one. This is the abnormal one. This is the abnormal one. You will ask me why you say it is abnormal. Look, we mentioned that this is the PVC and couplet. Wide bizarre. Here it is wide bizarre. Wide bizarre. Wide bizarre. Wide bizarre. So this is what we call ventricular bigeminy and couplet at the same time. Let us see here. It is very clear to everyone that this is example of bigeminy, like you mentioned, Lewis. Every other normal beat, Zahra, we get the wide one, okay? So the first one is wide bizarre. This is normal. This is wide bizarre. This is normal. This is wide bizarre. This is normal. This is wide bizarre. You catch it? All right. Then the trigeminy, normal, abnormal, normal, normal, abnormal, normal, normal, abnormal. So we call this is trigeminy PVC. Okay? Ventricular trigeminy. All right. Then we are going to have no SA node impulse. So the SA node is not working. The AV node is not working. So it is only coming from the Purkinje fiber, and this is the worstest one. Why is it the worstest one? Because the heart is not going to compensate like the heart rate 20 to 40 beats per minute. It will never be enough to provide good blood supply to the vital organs. So when we get pure ventricular character, Lewis, pure, I don't have any SA node activity or AV node activity, I will give the name ventricular rhythm. So it is pure Al-Haja, it is pure ventricular. Okay, let us see how it looks like. Sometimes we say that it is agonal rhythm. What we mean by agonal, if the heart rate below 20, which is very serious situation. Okay, so in this situation, we have to like apply assessment to restore the heart rate. So we are going to use AED. You know, this AED from BLS CPR. So we have to resuscitate the heart to restore back the normal contraction. Otherwise, it will be like very serious condition. So you see, the idioventricular rhythm, Zahra, is lethal. And you know what is lethal? Lethal means endanger life or may kill the patient. So we have to go by immediate and aggressive assessment, like what, Diana, to use AED. Okay, so this is very advanced problem. We have to take care of it in like excessive caution and take care of it. What is the summary for all what we mentioned? It is here in the slides. You can also review. And after that, we are going to talk about, like I told you, the basic information. We know that the ventricular rhythm range between 20 to 40. If it is more 40, but never reach 100, I will say accelerated. If it increased and beyond this 100, I will take the word, the word is tachycardia. Of course, in this situation, the heart is working completely from the ventricle. So I don't have any P waves because the atrium is not in charge for such a condition. This is why I'm saying it is lethal condition. So I will not get any P waves. And according to this, so far there is no P wave, there is no PR interval as we learn it together. Okay, here is the accelerated one, and we see all the waves we achieve, Lewis, is only wide bizarre QRS. That's it. Wide bizarre QRS. We don't have anything else, and it is more than 40, Diana, so it is accelerated, and when the number increase, it will be tachycardia as we create our information before. And here it give you like the care that can be like, looks like ventricular tachycardia. Okay, but be careful about the number. Tachycardia, I have to go above 100. But so far it is less than 100, I will say accelerated. Then we have to be aware about this, like all of this information is going to repeat what we mentioned together. And if we reach to the ventricular rhythm, which is very common in certification exam as a strip, which is why they are focusing on such kind of strips, because it is life-saving. If we get something like this, of course, we are not going to watch and stay and wait like the patient die. We have to take action, and emergency will be waiting for us. So this is tachycardia. Why? The number exceeds the 100, and this will be like sometimes we call VTEC. And this VTEC, V stands for ventricular, tach is tachycardia, okay? Sometimes this ventricular tachycardia can be felt through the pulse and cannot be felt through the pulse. So we have two information regarding either pulseless, means without pulse, or with pulse. So it is like variable condition, but in both cases, we have to get immediate assessment, and cardioversion is the word which we use to restore back the heart. So please, Rihanna, save the word cardioversion. Okay. Are you online, Rihanna? Rihanna, are you online? Okay. We have with the ventricular tachycardia, we have very common situation, which is what we call Trossedi point. And I need you to save this slide. And you see that this Trossedi point, also this is French name, Trossedi point, you can pronounce after me, Trossedi point. You will notice, Joanna, that all the waves here are wide bizarre. And when you look CD about these waves, some of the waves are high voltage and other are small voltage. So this group is like small voltage. This one is high voltage. So this is what we call Trossedi point. Please save it as very important slides in the certification exam.
It kind of looks like a bow tie.
So, yeah, you're right. So,
And this is life-threatening towards
yeah,
point.
yeah. It is type of ventricular tachycardia, which is very fatal. Okay, let us look here for the more advanced problem, which is fibrillation. And of course, fibrillation is like we don't have actual heartbeat. So like it will be the end stage before death. So fibrillation, we will get like a lot of small waves here. You look, it is not a ventricle, it is not anything. It is very weak waves. We call this is ventricular fibrillation. And we have two variation of ventricular fibrillation. Fine, like these waves are fine. And this one is coarse, which is like a little bit bigger. So we can compare this with through set point, which is make like a lot of conflict between the students. So look for this slides, which is fibrillation as a course. So you find that all the waves looks like equal almost to each other, but in through set point, look, it is not the same. We have big and small. So please take care of the difference between this coarse fibrillation and the true set point. Then if we reach, of course, all of this like leading to this, and it is like take few minutes to happen and end the life. Then the ventricle after fibrillation are no longer capable to produce any contraction. So this is what we call asystole. And you know, Mark, the letter A means no, and systole means contraction. So this is what we call the baseline or flat line will develop like we see in the monitoring or immediate death happen with the monitoring, that this is like cardiac standstill or asystole, no contraction coming from the ventricle, and this is like the end stage. After that, we will get some information regarding how we go by what are the causes, what is the reasons. Like here, it is like what happened if there is no pulse with the electrical activity. We will stop at this point regarding today, and I hope you are familiar about our chapter today that we mentioned that if I have retrograde or negative P wave, it is junctional. If I have wide bizarre QRS, this is ventricular. And we learned majority of cases regarding the ventricular rhythm. I hope everything is clear for you. If you have any question, please let me know. All right. I will post